Everybody. All right. Hope everybody's having a nice, mercy sakes, it's almost Thanksgiving, isn't it? Just seemed like it was August and I had to pack up the house. Yeah. Bernie, probably the Lincoln Premier that can easily sit 16 comfortably. All right. Okay, let's get started. As we can see, this market is not resisting anymore at the top of this channel. It consolidated for a couple of days, did our double doji bullish engulfing, and still heading up. That doesn't preclude us from coming back eventually and hitting the or testing this level to see if it's going to act as support, and if it does, that means we've got a lot more upside. Nora was trading Amazon today. Am I sliding off the right side of the screen here? Let's see. You're sliding off the right side of the page. Huh. Anybody else having that problem? Ah, okay, let's see what's the story here then. Because it's showing up that I'm... Alright, can everybody see all the way over here? This where... Let's see what my screen shows. It's all showing. Huh. Yeah, hit fit to screen. All right. Okay. All right, so with this now, I was going to do a little bit about trend analysis. Again, we did this Monday night. Same scenario. As long as this market, now this market looked like it was resisting once again. That would have been an opportune time to take some profits. But the next day, when it came right back up through the T-line as a bullish engulfing signal, basically told us they weren't taking it down below the T-line. They were keeping it up. I noticed since that time, they haven't been able to get back down through that level. Now they've pushed through the top of this resistance level, so this is kind of a T-line crunch, pushing everything up through this level. Means there's more upside. All right, and then the NASDAQ, at the same time, is coming back up right smack dab to a breakout level right here. We did it with a bullish engulfing, a bullish harami, telling us that this big day of down, the selling has stopped. And now we're still heading up, stochastic's still heading up. That tells us if they go through this level, we're in wave 3 of this latest J-hook pattern. And the S&P, I don't know why that's an invalid chart. S&P did go through this little level up here tells us we should be moving up to this level and then starting that trajectory, continuing the uptrend. Okay. Now, there isn't really anything that's influencing the markets all that much. The interest rates are just kind of hovering at still relatively historic lows. Notice how the 10-year bonds came right down smack dab to the 50, and they bounced it up. I would suspect now your next target is going to be up here at the 200, which means bond prices slowly moving up, interest rates not really going anywhere. Crude oil prices still heading down. They just can't get this back up above the T-line. If we make this chart a little bit bigger, we're back down almost to the support level. And you just see whether they bounce it. Maybe do a little head and shoulders type action. Now remember, crude oil prices always fall during the going into the winter time. Let's see, what else do we got? The U.S. dollar. U.S. dollar is still caught in this downtrending channel. If they trade this back below the T-line tomorrow, you want to be short. More than likely, they're going to start heading back down to the bottom of the trend channel. At the same time, the British pound looks like it's trying to break up above this channel, the euro dollar. Trying to come back up through, same scenario as the dollar. If they break above this level, they're heading back up. If the dollar breaks below this level, they're still heading back down. And what else is there? Japanese yen. Japanese yen rolling over. We can see this big slow curve, which means investor sentiment is getting weaker and weaker. This could have a nice breakdown if it did kind of gap down through this level. Let's see if we can do this a little bit more exacting. Yeah, they gap down through that support level. That could be the start of this dumpling top hard sell-off. They mean the market in general. All right, Bob. Yeah, they're working on that. If you can't see the chart, is go to your little icons up above the screen and see if you can adjust it. Okay, crude oil, dollar, gold. Gold also having a hard time getting back up above the T-line. Suspecting it's in a downtrending channel. And silver, same scenario. Kind of a rolling over top. Notice the doji gap down. That tells you you're in a downtrend until you see a buy signal and a close back up above the T-line. Now, I started shorting cotton again today. As we can see, we've got a downtrend, pop back up, and a strong evening star signal, taking it back down below the T-line, which means we could have another downdraft, same magnitude as this move right here. And have been short lean hogs ever since it rolled over and also failed here at this level. Trading up a little bit after hours, but still not a concern unless they do a bullish harami during the trading day tomorrow. And let's see, short sugar right now. Sugar, as you can see, has been in a downtrend. Can't get up above the T-line. Stay short until you see a buy signal. At this point, my stops are at the previous day's open. We're in the oversold area. They should not be able to have enough strength to bring it back up through the previous day's open. If that's the case, that's where you close out your short position. Coffee also has a situation where it's got a bearish J-hook pattern going. Plus, notice what type of day we had today, a doji. If this opens lower, what do we potentially have? bearish doji sandwich, which means if they close it down here, they're closing it below this level. That tells us wave 3 is definitely in downtrend into the wave 3. Okay, I guess that's about it on the commodity side. All right. Kind of had a question today, and I'll repeat the answer. The reason we're trying to teach people where to be buying and where not to be buying is because of what investor sentiment usually does and what most investors do at the wrong time. Somebody asked today, was it too late to buy ONV? ONVO. Yes, it's way too late. The buy points were down here where we can see that there was a pattern being broken out, either here or where we saw it came back to the T-line, did a long-legged doji, and opened positive the next day, breaking out through here. These are the buy points. These are what we're hoping for after the buy points. So it's way past time to be buying because this stock is up 50% from the time it broke out, over 50% from the time it broke out from this level, and close to 90% from this level. So the reason we keep showing these is not so much to say, yeah, look at this big move here. It's so people can go back and say, all right, where was the time to be buying this type of chart? What did this chart look like that created this type of move? So that you become accustomed to saying, all right, nothing looks exciting here, but this is breaking out of a fry pan bottom. What do I expect? A strong price move. Or long-legged doji, and they gap it up above the resistance level. Should I be in? And this is where you want to get the education. This is just the aftermath of what we were buying for down here coming off the chart patterns. And what is this? Who writes these notes? MU. MU is somewhat the same scenario in that, should you be buying here? This one's got a little bit different story. Yes, it might be a buy here because we are just slowly breaking out into the new territory. But notice the same scenario on this one. This is why we want to put all the factors that we can into our analysis. Little hammer type signal that just touched basically the 50-day moving average, and they gapped it up. Anytime you see a candlestick signal, especially in the oversold area, and they gap it up above the T-line, all you have to do is stay long until you see a sell signal and a close back below the T-line. There was potential right here. Didn't close below the T-line, so you come up with just one simple trading strategy. If this opens lower tomorrow, you close out the position. It needs to, you have heard me say many times, this one needs to open higher and trade higher to stay in it. Because if it opens lower, that tells us the T-line, which is kind of a natural support level, is not acting as support. What's the worst case scenario? You close it out, they trade it all the way down here, and then by the end of the day, they come back up through where you close it out. You can always buy it back because at least that way, you know the profit taking's over and the price movement is going in the direction that you think it should be going. On HNR, well, HNR was a situation where anytime you see a positive open and they trade it positive, you put your sell stop right where it opened. Because if they come back through that level, that tells you this positive trading has disappeared. You want to be right back out of this trade as fast as possible. There is no audio. All right, let's see what else we got here. XBT. Looks kind of languishing in here, but you've got to consider the whole chart. What happened here? Months and months of just dull, indecisive trading, and then, bam, it started taking off. What usually happens after a strong price move? Profit taking. Now, what's happening right in here? Are they buying or selling? really not either. So basically the selling has stopped, the buying hasn't started, but they gapped it up today and sold it off. But remember, they gapped it up today. Stochastic's flat, so you can see the little wedge here. If they break to the upside, you want to be buying, because that's your classic case of profit taking or your J-hook pattern. Let's see, we recommended RMTI the other day. Or was it yesterday? I can't remember. Because where was it going? It was going out through this level after some indecisive trading off this bottom. Anyways, we're probably in wave 3 on this one. I say probably in wave 3 because we have such a visual clarity as far as what's going on in investor sentiment, and we can read what the patterns and the signals are telling us. We just have the advantage of we don't have to know what's going on in Valero or that industry. All we have to know is Valero broke out through a kind of a J-hook type pattern, which has the potential now of creating the same price move as what we saw over here. Now, this was a false start. There's a J-hook pattern, failed. Now you have a double J-hook pattern. Notice where the second J-hook pattern started. Right smack dab where the first one started. Now we've broken out through the resistance level. And how did they get there? They were gapping this up into the resistance level. What do you think they were thinking when they were gapping it into a resistance level? That there's probably not going to be any resistance here. They're going to blast through it, which is exactly what they did. Another one in the same industry, AJ or ALJ, broke through this resistance level, coming off a kicker type signal and staying above the T line. So in that case of both buying and selling being so congested, we wait. Yes. Now I take it you were referring to OXBT. Now, if you bought today, that wouldn't have been any crime because you were buying on a gap up that was opening above the previous day's open and had gone this way. So, at this point, where do we not want to see this trade? We don't want to see it trade back below the T line. Now, is that a significant a risk factor as far as stop loss? Yeah, that could be a 15, 17% pullback just to get to, might not be that. Let's say a 7 or 8% pullback to get stopped out. But what's your upside potential on this chart? Well, they just moved from 2 to 11.5, 9.5 points. If this one gets moving, they could take this one up to 16. So you've got the upside potential of 140%. You've got the downside risk of 6 or 7%. Let's see, what's the right now, yeah, there's you got to remember too, even though you're seeing some selling, you still saw a gap up today. That means somebody was in there buying. Would it be better to wait for a better stock trade than an iffy signal? Yeah, if this one isn't right now, I wouldn't. If I was going to buy this, I'd probably wait till it broke out through this level. I'd rather pay up for it knowing it was moving in the right direction. And let's see what else we got here. Whoops. Well, Shazam. All right, this one, Jax. That's a very nice looking chart because it's telling us a story. Coming out of the fry pan bottom, you had a strong price move. It's consolidated to where? Back to a cradle pattern. And what happened after the cradle confirmation? A doji. What was the support level on the doji? Right smack dab back to the T line. What happens tomorrow if it opens positive? After a doji, it's probably going to move positive, number one. Number two, it's probably going to do a doji sandwich, same magnitude day as this. If it does that, what's it also doing? Telling us it's breaking out through this level, getting us into wave 3. This is a perfect setup. You want to be buying this one on a positive open tomorrow. Okay, let's see. Did I miss questions? Don't worry. What was the question? You said you could buy off the doji tomorrow if it opens positive. I was wondering why you should buy so far away from the T line. Oh, sorry, I didn't read the whole question. Oh, because if it opens positive tomorrow in the oversold area, where do you think the next target's going to be? Probably up to the T line. So if you're buying down here at $2.95, $3, and it moves up to the T line over the next couple of days, let's say to 360, to me that's a 20% move. That's a good enough trade. And if it opens positive, what's that say about this inverted hammer doji in the oversold area? But they're probably going to move positive. That just becomes our first potential resistance. So even if it opens positive and just goes up to the T line, you've got the capabilities of making a 20% return based on a signal and pattern that is very easy to recognize. So if this opened positive, very simple. Now your upside potential is here. What's your downside risk? It shouldn't trade back down below this level in here, or the bears are still in control. How far up? Where did it close today at? 287. I'd probably put it at 295 up in this area. That's significantly away from where it closed. And what's my risk factor? About 10 cents, 12 cents, that it shouldn't come back down through this level. All right. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's zip right along here. DDD also has the same type of setup. Notice the price just parabolic. I closed out the 70 calls that I bought down in here for some big profits. Now, what do you do when you take profits on the calls and you still think it's going higher? You reduce your risk exposure. I closed these out, I think, around 830, 840. And then I bought the 80s of December for, I think, $1. I think I did a spread, 80.85 for $1.05 or something. So what's my worst case scenario? It keeps going up past the 85 level. My $1.05 turns into $5. That's still close to 400% return. And what's my risk factor? $1 now. That if this turned around on me, my dollar spread, I might have to get out at 70 cents on the spread. So I've still got upside potential of another 400, 500% return. My downside risk, not all that much. Kind of an hanging man doji in the overbought condition, but remember, it will still move in the direction of how they open it. Had the same scenario right here, and they opened it positive the next day. So right now, I have to go with the factor the trend is strong. It is still a doji, yes, and it's still going to move in the direction of how they open it after a doji. Worst case scenario is they open it positive. All you do is set your stop right here, because it shouldn't come back down through that direction if they've opened it positive after a doji. Let's see. S.SB. This one, when you have an uptrending stock and they get some sort of news that gaps it down and you immediately see them buying, usually means that news is just temporary. And I think I can't remember whether they were putting out a new issue. So this one can still be bought on the basis of, once again, where you have a doji sandwich potential. Where's your next target? Well, if they move it up the same magnitude as that candle, next target is you see what it does at the T line. If it opens lower and starts heading down, you close out the position. That means the bulls aren't there anymore. Somewhat the same scenario as what we saw not too long ago in IACA, where they gapped it way down, sold it off for a little bit, and then have started bringing it right back up again. So when, again, not a belt hold signal, but it basically tells you that once they opened it, the bulls are stepping in. Where's the first target? Potentially filling the gap, in this case, what they did. And they could still take this one higher. LFL had a nice fry pan bottom. Then it closed out with a close below the T-line. Now look where we are. Doji right back to the T-line after a bullish engulfing. Hammer, a Dragonfly Doji, a Doji. Makes this very simple. You're sitting smack dab on the moving averages with a Doji. It's going to move in the direction how they open it. If they open this positive, the moving averages aren't acting as resistance, and we basically have that little cup and handle setup. Like to see the Dojis right smack dab on a support or resistance level, because it makes it very simple the next day of what to do as far as how they open the price the next day. Here's another Doji sandwich setup. Getting very close to a breakout area, so if they open this positive and move the same magnitude as this, more than likely that means they're going to be out through the new high, putting us into wave 3. And that was PCRM. GME, this one still think it should be held right into Christmas. Observe the obvious. The obvious is the T-line is acting as some sort of support area. Just keep owning this until you see a dramatic sell signal, which in a lot of these stocks that are oriented or influenced by Christmas sales, a lot of them sell off not after the Christmas, but after the first of the year, once all the exchanges are done and all the final sales are calculated, then they start selling off. So this one, as long as you've got a steady eddy, you just stay long with this one. CSUN, another one that bopped down here, has come back up above the T-line. What's most predominant? Stay long, with the anticipation that your next target could be up here at the top of the trend channel. And BISN, again, this is the advantage of the chat room where everybody is watching with the same set of eyes. This one has that big bullish move, big huge morning star signal, right off the 50-day moving average. Basically can't get it back through the T-line. Makes it very simple. If they open it positive, you want to be buying immediately also, because you still have the potential of another day like this out here. Worst case scenario, if they open it positive, at least they're going to move it positive. Let's see. Scotty. Well, Scotty worked well for us. They upgraded it with a spread, which was the 50-55s that we bought over here someplace. I think for, can't remember, it was $1.10 or so. That if they could close it above the $55 level, we must have been buying down here. I guess we were buying more down here. If it closed above 55, that meant the $1.05 or whatever it was going to convert into $5. And so we needed it to close above the 55 level to get that maximum price. So today we got out of most of our positions at 475. Is it worth a quarter to hold on for one more day? We've already got good profits in it. Take the money, go find something that looks more like this that has a lot more upside leverage. The stuttering doji. Alright, let's see what else we got in here. Oh, PCRX also has that very nice chart where it pulled back right smack dab to the 50-day moving average twice. And now look where it is. Right on the resistance level with a doji. makes it very simple. If it opens positive or starts trading positive tomorrow, you start buying, because that tells you you're in wave 3 coming out of this resistance area. Mike is breaking up. Oh, and breaking up is so very hard to do. All right, some other ones that look attractive right now is ESI, right here at the resistance level. Now, it faded off a little bit today. So one of two things. If it opens lower, you close out the position if you're in it, because that means they failed at the top. If they open positive and start trading back up through the day's open, that tells you the J-hook pattern is still in progress and wave 3 is in progress. Ever since the morning star, that was wave 1. Pull back. Now it'll be wave 3, same magnitude as this, which was like about 13 points. That should take us up into about the 52, 53, 54 area. And LITB also came up. Somebody mentioned this. Notice the scoop type pattern. If they break through the 50 on this, you definitely want to be buying, because they're going to come up and fill this gap up here in the $18, $19 range. 8 points on $11 stock, a good 75-80%. Oh, earnings shortly? All right. Remember, a lot of people ask, do you buy going into earnings? If somebody is buying going into earnings other than myself, that means they know something I don't know, and more than likely the chart is going to be correct. And I always come back to, there are surprises, but every time I get surprised to the negative side, I usually pick up 3, 4, 5 times the amount of positive surprises based upon what the chart was doing. Yes, opens positive after a doji means it opens above where it closed the previous day. No, the previous day's close, not necessarily the high. Now, the high is also another good place to put a buy stop, that if you see a doji and a positive open and it comes up through the previous day's high, that means that's the direction they're taking it. You want to be a buyer. I see GE, big bullish engulfing. This one you want to watch for what we call the trend kicker signal. Stochastics coming up, strong signal, a little backing and filling. If they open this positive and start taking a positive, you buy immediately, because that means there's a lot of price movement coming out of this based upon that little trend kicker, which means they'd get through this area right here. And BONT was also brought up because it came out of a nice slow curve pattern. So that same question was it too late to buy BONT? Probably in this case, yes, because what's your upside resistance? Probably at the 200. So it's already gotten 2/3 of the move out of the way. Should have been looking at it more right in this area to be buying. Again, getting away from chasing after stocks and buying when the buy signals are just about ready to start kicking in. We did VISN, INFI. Another one where you've had a nice bullish signal, this big, huge Morningstar signal, and no close yet below the T-line. Be ready to buy if this starts breaking out to the upside up here. Probably going to get a quick move up to the 50-day moving average. Bigalow has a nice basing pattern right here, smack dab on the 50-day moving average, and bouncing off of that level. You've got a wave 1, wave 2, and where did they pull it back to after a long, steady uptrend? Right back to the 50-day moving average, and we can see the buying starting back in, the inverted hammer. Oh, not quite a signal here, but telling us they're breaking up off the 50. You want to be buying this one? If I was buying this one tomorrow, I'd merely use the halfway point of this candle as my stop, because if I was buying it, it was telling us we were breaking out through this level. we shouldn't be closing back into that level again. Let's see, BFR is another one in the same industry. Smack dab here in the 50. This one you can be buying on positive trading tomorrow, with the idea that this one could go from 750 back to 10, giving you a good 33% return. XRS is another good looking chart. J-hook pattern, we're right at the breakout level. If this opens positive tomorrow, you've got another possibility of a 5-point move from here. We see Bona. Bullish engulfing, bullish confirmation through the T-line, confirm the signal and the resistance level. This one's got a good wave 3 pattern setting up. Yeah, hang on to your individual requests. We'll get to them as fast as we can here. Let me get through the charts that I think look good, and we'll, analyze the rest of them. LNG, just stay long, but notice you've got kind of that little scoop type or a little J-hook type pattern. Whoops, there was more. There's much more. Breaking out through this level tells us the first pop is going to be back up to the trajectory, which means that's good 5, 7, 8% away. And then it usually goes into a 45 degree with the same trajectory of the previous trend. BFR, we did that one. Who wrote these things? They should have their handwriting checked. Warning star signal, doji, look for this price move. We had one that is setting up that way. I can't remember what it was. I was looking for it. MODN. It's got that slow curve, and you're sitting right smack dab at the 50. If they open this positive, that tells you there's no resistance. If they break out through here, you're up in this long ways to go up in the into the gap area. What is the J-hook pattern? All right, we'll get to that. Is that whole series of long-tailed dojis just an indication of huge indecision? CGIX. Oh, yes. Remember, if a doji means indecision, a series of dojis means greater indecision. Either they're ready to take it up or they're ready to take it down. And when they give you that message of which way they're taking it, they're usually going to move there in quite a while. But this is that huge indecision up here. Should have told you, especially right here, when they open lower after the first doji, that's when you probably wanted to take your profits. Now, there's a lot of times I take my profits, and it looks like they're taking it right back up, but I got to wait to the end of the day to see what type of signal it is. I'd rather miss the opportunity to make money than get into something and lose money because I thought things were going to be confirming. Nuance also, that little doji. Look for the doji sandwich taking you up into new territory. Tata Motors might be following along the lines of Tesla. You can see it's choppy because it trades overseas, but you do have a Morningstar signal gap up. You can be buying, especially if it comes through this level. Telling you that you're now in wave 3 on this one. THRM. There's a J-hook pattern with a gap up. Anytime you see a signal and a gap up, that's telling you they're trying to get in with great enthusiasm. And that's exactly where you want to be, is buying where the great enthusiasm has come into it. Here's another J-hook pattern. This one you can be buying, anticipating it getting through the 750 level and move up another 5 points after that. DK. Whoops. Little scoop type pattern. Bounced off the 50. Notice what it did. It came up through the 50, came right smack dab back to the 50. Where do you think your next target is? Up here at the 200-day moving average. There's also a little gap to fill right here. So at least you know your first target is putting you in the right direction. And you can always reassess from that point to see whether it's still moving in the right direction or not when it gets up to the to a resistance level. Let's see, we did that one. Let's see, we did that one. Okay. And CQB. Notice the wedge. Notice how the indecision got bigger and bigger, or the trading got smaller and smaller. And then pop, you've got this wedge. Pop. This one you definitely want to be a buyer on a positive open. It's got the potential of 20% to the upside, just going up to the 50-day moving average. STX. Wave 1, Wave 2, we're just about ready to flip into Wave 3. This was one of those where this one will probably be on the recommended list tomorrow, anticipating that if it breaks through, we're now in Wave 3, which could be the magnitude of about, what is that, 11 points? 11 points from here takes you up into the $60, $61 range. So you can always do a spread based upon selling the 60s and buying the 55s or something along that lines. Okay, I'm not reading. I'm apparently forgetting to read as I'm going along. Just flying along here. FLTX. J-hook pattern, just getting through the 50. This one you want to buy on positive trading. If it breaks this little resistance level, it's got a lot of upside potential. And 45 degrees. Somebody was asking what a 45 degree was today. 45 degree is when you have a big price move, then it moves in a steady price move, about a 45 degree angle coming out the other side. DWRE, big price move, pulled back, but now you're in that 45 degree to the upside. Oh, yeah, Ed C is in the room tonight. If you're in the chat room, Ed does excellent formula write-ups as far as the different signals and I don't see Ed C. If you can catch him in the room, he does very, very good writing of the signals and patterns that you can apply into your own scanning softwares. GoGo was another one that had a nice big price move, then a strong 45 degree. I mean, they've moved it up steadily. We're starting to get some selling, but at this point, would probably use today's low as a stop. It shouldn't go back down through that level. If it does, where they take it to, probably back down to the T-line. That was GoGo. And what started GoGo? A bullish engulfing, gap up through the resistance, confirming the bullish engulfing, and telling you there's going to be more upside. But who knows what the options prices are? Don't know if a spread is worth it. Yeah, Bernie, but there are some of the softwares are very easy to say, I want to buy whatever it was, 55s and sell the 60s, and you can put that in and it will show you what the price will be. Again, when I'm buying calls or a spread, I know I want to make at least 2.5 times my money. So if I've got a $5 spread, that means don't want to pay any more than $2 for it. Just because of the hurdles that you have with option trading. You've got the bid-ask spread, number one. You've got commission charges that are extra, more lucrative for brokers on the option side because you've got less money exposed, but more the same percent in commission charge. And what else do I have here? That was go-go. When you see a big sell signal, close out the position. That's what happened yesterday on FOO. Big bearish engulfing. That tells us we're probably dead on this one for a while until they probably move it back down to the 200 and see it bounce up from there. Okay. As you said in your option trading, sometimes a spread isn't worth it, especially if the options you are selling are just a few cents. Exactly. So, yeah, if you're buying the lower call for $2 and you're selling the upper call for 10 cents, 10 cents may not be worth the risk-reward factor to limit your upside potential to $5. If going through that upper level could take you much higher, why cut into your potential winnings? Just close out the position and now consider just going long or trying to hit the long ball with just a call option. Is it better to buy the stock or options on these lower price stocks? Karen, I usually buy options on the higher price stocks just because percentage wise, even though they're going to move the same, a 10% move is a 10% move whether you're in a $6 stock or a $60 stock. But a 5% move in a $60 stock gives you a good leverage to be in the options versus just in the calls outright. All right. Are there any questions as far as candlesticks? What scan parameters did you use for these charts? Oh, scan parameters are just the same as let's see, what scan parameters? When I'm searching for good price moves, my number one scan right now is just going to see which trades had the biggest percent price move today. They don't necessarily have to be in an oversold condition because there's going to be a lot of stocks that aren't in the oversold condition that are doing some sort of pattern. Notice that this one, Jax, isn't in the oversold area, but it's doing a cradle pattern and kind of a reversal, especially on a positive open, breaking out through this area. So I forgot what I was. Oh, Marty, I think we do have. I think there are flashcards available. What would you suggest as the best way to learn these patterns? MB, whatever is easiest for you. Either keep scanning back through the book High Profit Candlestick Patterns. There's only about 7 or 8 patterns that you really need to be aware of. And they aren't that difficult to learn. Once you set your eye on it and kind of say, all right, this is a such and such pattern, just kind of remember it. I sleep with his books under my pillow. This is recorded. Which patterns are they? Oh, you got the fry pan bottom, like this one. You got the cradle pattern, like this one. Got J-hook patterns. Oh, I was going to get to a J-hook pattern, and we'll probably get to a J-hook pattern here before the night is over. Yeah, and then you can remember your your signals and patterns. You've got a mouse pad that has the 12 major signals on it. We've got a 2 by 3 foot poster with all the signals on it, which should be put in every American's family's living room just to remind them about candlesticks. All right, FSS recommended. Stay long. Nothing wrong here. This was a case that if you got stopped out, you should have bought it back when it comes back up above the T line. And then you could see what type of pattern it was setting up. Okay, Jim, let's go ahead and do the double line. And in 3.8 seconds, do the other double line. EOX. EOX, I wouldn't be long or short right now. Nothing there to tell me whether to buy or sell. I'd be someplace else. S-Fun. This one, as long as it stays above the T-line, whoops. Let me go back one and make sure I didn't goof up here. EOX. EOX, that's a completely different story. There you go. Left-right combo, close above the T-line. Yes, you can be buying this one. The next resistance level is this little level right here. You got to watch to see what it does once it gets to that level. Let's see. S-Fun. Stay long until you see a sell signal and a close below the T-line. On a day like this, you're still in an uptrend. You do have a sell signal, but if it opens positive and trades positive, you stay in it. If it opens lower, anticipate they're coming back down to test the T-line. That's what's happening. Somebody's moving the charts on me. QIHU. Another one where if they open up positive, notice how the doji came back down and touched the T-line today, and then bounced back up off of it. Now if it opens positive, you want to be a buyer. KORS, all you can do here is stay long until you see a sell signal. PRKR. This one you can be buying, especially if it comes back up through the 200. Remember, there's not very much resistance there right now because everybody's resistance would be, oh, I bought it or I sold it, a lot of it here. I'll sell it if it ever gets back up to that point. No, the price went right down to the floor, which means there's really no sellers in the way at these levels. And ARNA. ARNA, all you can do here is stay long until you see a sell signal. You've had 2 gap ups, which meant there's lots of enthusiastic buyers out there. KERX has to open positive and trade positive to stay in it. If it opens lower, this downtrending channel is now starting in that direction. And VJET, all you can do here is stay long until you see a sell signal and a close below the T-line. YNDX, this one you can be buying on the little cradle type pattern, scoop type pattern. This one you buy anticipating it moving back up into this trajectory somewhere. So here's your upside potential, which would be a good 15-20% to the upside. And FedEx, another J-hook pattern. That's a J-hook. J-hook is when they take it up strong. Where are all these things coming from? Comes up strong, pulls back. You can see the indecisive trading starting to curl back up. Then the buy signals. You can buy it back because wave 1 is usually equivalent to wave 3 on a J-hook pattern. And TDR. This one you stay long as it stays above the T line. Notice the inverted hammer signal and a bullish confirmation did two things. Confirm the bullish inverted hammer, which is a very high probability trade, number one, and broke out through this little downtrending channel over here. Let's see. CDE. CDE, you can be buying this one on positive trading. Just be aware of the downtrending channel. So when it gets to the 50, you want to see what it does at that level. Pause had a good chart today. Gap up from a doji. You can be buying this one on positive trading using the halfway point of today's candle as your stop. If it trades positive, you've got your best friend set up, which means we should be heading up to the next target. If it closes more than halfway down this candle, that tells us we didn't break out through this level. We're still stuck in that trading range. Want to be right back out of it. In ATRS, another doji bullish confirmation, kind of a crummy, not crummy in the sense that it's a crummy signal, but just a sloppy bottom of a cradle pattern. This one you can be buying on positive trading tomorrow. Soybeans, kind of indecisive here over the last couple days. You're getting back up to this resistance level, and they're just not able to break through, and your stochastics is starting to roll over. So what I would anticipate is, now that they've come up through the 50, they're going to come back and test it to see if it's going to act as support. That's where you watch to see if they do act as support. Look for a J-hook pattern. There's still a little gap up here they've got to come up and eventually fill. IGT. Needs to get above the T line. Even though these are bullish signals, they're bullish signals to take you back up to the T line. Then you have to see what it does at the T line. Right now it looks like it did a bearish engulfing signal there. If it opens lower, you can be shorting this one. And Apple, you can be buying this one. Oh, pshaw, what's happened? You can be buying this one using the T-line as your stop. They've told us which way they want to take this now after trading sideways for a couple of weeks. Glue you can be buying. Or bullish engulfing. Up above the T-line, first target is right here, which means you're still in the right direction, and then you could possibly take it higher from there. EXK. This one's coming back up to test the 200. You can be buying it. Use the T-line as your stop. Price line. Yeah, but it's a gap up, but you're not in the overbought condition yet with both. So I'd continue to hold. At this point, I'd probably use yesterday's close as my stop. If it came back down through there, that's telling me they're coming back to test the T-line. Las Vegas Sands. Stay long until you see a sell signal. CLS. Oops, all right, wrong one. CLR. Another one you can be buying. You just have to realize that the magnitude of return on this one is not all that great, and your upside trend is not all that significant right now. Bottom line, I'd be trading something else. CPHD, just stay long until you see a sell signal. Whenever you start seeing this steady eddy below the T-line and they're using the T-line as support, you just stay long until you see it close back below the T-line. IACI, another one where you just stay long. Right now, there's above the T-line. There's no signs of any slowing down just yet. ALXN. Nice J-hook pattern setup. Doji, hammer, bullish confirmation through the downtrending T-line. I would suspect you're heading back up at least to that level. We did nuance. Harley. Whoops. Harley, you can be buying. There's your best friend right there. A little doji gap up through the resistance level. If you're buying, just be very diligent to see what it does once it gets up here to the resistance level. But from what the stochastics look like, you still have a lot more upside in this one. Abercrombie Fitch. You can be buying this one, especially on a positive open, because if it does a doji sandwich, that means this candle equivalent over here would take you up through the 50. Then you hang on to it until you see a sell signal. Is that GM as in good morning or GM? GM has now broken out. This could be doing a doji sandwich. If I was buying this tomorrow, I'd put a buy stop above today's high. If it comes up through there, the doji sandwich is in progress. NQ. Another one that if it trades positive tomorrow, you can be buying. But that doesn't look like the NQ you're looking for. This is more like the NQ you'd be looking for. Well, S.NQ. This one's kind of sloppy. This one's caught in a wedge. I wouldn't be in this one long or short right now. I'd wait for it to break out one way or the other. UNXL. This one, all you can do is stay short until you see a buy signal and a close back up above the T-line. WPRT. This one you can be buying. A scoop pattern. If this opens positive, use the T-line as your stop. Anticipate this is the handle to your scoop. If it breaks through that level, there could be a slingshot effect to bring you up to fill the gap up here in the $27 range. And Tango. Tango, another one that if it opens positive, next target is filling this little gap, which means you're above the T-line. More than likely, come back up and test the 50. And CYNI. If this opens positive, you want to be buying. There's your first target. There's your second target. And MM. Whoops. S.MM. This one you want to be out of. Looks like it's a low volume stock in the first place. Maybe not. But you want to be out of this one. I wouldn't go short just because it's near such a strong support level. I just wouldn't be long anymore. ETR. This one you can buy, even though you're below the T-line. You've got that hammer gap up. You just buy and then watch diligently when it gets once it gets to the T-line. CCXI. Doji, bullish confirmation. I don't know what the volume is on this one. But you can buy this one if it's got decent volume on positive trading tomorrow. Open. Stay long until you see a sell signal. IGTE. I wouldn't be long or short this one. You're flat. Just nothing there. Now you do have a doji that if you like it, if it opens positive tomorrow, you can be buying. Just use the T-line as your stop. FCG. This one you can be buying also on the basis that it has to get up through the 20 so it can break out through this little downtrending channel. And ANW, that's the root beer company. Maybe not. Bullish Harami, confirmation, stay long until you see a sell signal. When you're getting up toward the overbought area, just put your stop at the previous day's open. It shouldn't come back through those levels. And DMD. Nothing that I'd get real excited about here. No real reversal signal, no real direction. I'd be trading something else. Crocs. This one, you get ready to buy, put your buy stop one tick above today's open. If they come up through there, that tells you the consolidation's over and the scoop pattern breakout is in progress. Ford needed to stay above the T-line, which it has been doing. Whoops. S.F. Doji sandwich setup. If this one opens positive, you want to buy immediately. Just make sure it gets through the 50 and the 20 very quickly. CCL, Carnival, there's that belt hold, and there's the J-hook pattern. This one you buy on positive trading tomorrow, because if they break through this level, you're now in the next wave that could be that magnitude. CLF, another J-hook pattern setting up. Wouldn't be going after this real aggressively unless it came back up through today's high. SOL, kind of caught in a wedge. This kind of wedge pattern. I'd rather pay for it once it's moved big in one way or the other, breaking out of that wedge. Facebook. Facebook, very simple. Doji sandwich setup. We buy this on a positive open tomorrow. And GMCR. This one is Doji sandwich setup after a left-right combo. This one you can buy on a positive open using the T-line as your stop. IBM. Nothing there to get excited about. It needs to break through this downtrending channel. It hasn't done that yet. And you're running out of steam on your stochastics. Right now, I wouldn't be long or short IBM just because there's a slow downtrend. Nothing there to get excited about. CSIQ keeps right on moving. Another one that if it comes back up through today's open, you want to be buying aggressively. It's still on a strong uptrend. CSIQ, just stay long on this one until you see a sell signal. And XONE started off strong, gave back some at the end of the day, but as long as you're above the T-line on this one, just stay long. Let's see, Bank of America. That one has just climbed out of this downtrending channel. You can be buying this one, but it needs to stay above the T-line and use the previous day's open now as your stop. Potash, flat. I'd be someplace else. KBH. This one you can be buying also with the pretense that this is your downtrending channel. So you got to watch once it gets through here, but that could also mean they come back and test the 50 again after it gets through, and then would head much higher after that, up toward the 200-day moving average. And VNet, stay long. There's a little left-right combo confirmation. I'd stay long on this one. MPO. Or you can buy this on positive trading. Doji sandwich, which means hopefully you'd get through the 200-day moving average. SRPT. Nothing that I'd want to do right now. Now, if you want to trade it for a quick pop back up to the T-line, you can. but it needs more confirmation. I'd rather pay for it coming out of this where the candle at the bottom opened and went down further. Sony, just stay long on this one. They've been gapping it up. Look for it to go to the 50. And we did Facebook. Coca-Cola. Again, Coke's fairly stodgy trading. If you like it, just stay long, but obviously this is a long-term pick versus a trader. 5. Stay long, especially going into Christmas. That's where I do most of my Christmas shopping. And again, that's where I do most of my wardrobe shopping. FedEx, that's a J-hook pattern. Be ready to buy this if it breaks out through the recent highs. ELN. Stay long. There's your kicker signal. That started your uptrend, and your uptrend remains in progress as long as there's nothing to... No sell signal. What do we got here? I wouldn't be buying this here, but I'd hold it with the anticipation. There's my resistance level at the top of this channel. Then see what it does from there. ENDP. There's that 45 degree. That was what I was looking for to illustrate that once they gap it up, they usually take it up into a steady uptrend after that. Yelp. Yelp has still got this slow curve. You're starting to head up, but you're right here at the resistance level, but you got to take into factor what the pattern is. Right now the pattern is the slow curve, which would be more of an indication that they don't have enough juice to get up over the breakout level. So more than likely, when everybody at the end of a dumpling top starts bailing out, that's where they take it down hard, just like the opposite of a fry pan bottom. Zillow I wouldn't be too excited about because it's caught here in this trading range, still below the 50. Even though you're above the T-line, there's no direction just yet. I'd rather see it break out one way or the other. Google got the doji sandwich. If it opens positive tomorrow, you buy it immediately. And OVTI, same scenario. Doji, if it opens positive tomorrow, it's breaking out to the upside, probably up to the 200. Born can be bought. If it opens positive tomorrow, make sure your volume is good on this one, especially these low-price stocks. Corn is slowly drifting off, but wheat has an inverted hammer signal, and they're starting to trade a little bit positive. If this starts trading up tomorrow, you want to buy it, you just set your stop right here. Shouldn't come back down through this level. And we did soybeans. Soybeans is kind of flat for the last few days. Getting toward the overbought area. It might be fizzling out right now, moving in a sideways pattern. Costco, there's your J-hook pattern. Stay long until you see a sell signal. Oops, need to scroll down here. Groupon. This one, if you own it, you stay with it. If you're going to buy it, I'd rather buy it coming out above the 50. Just to show that the 50 was not going to act as a resistance anymore. MTW. This one's still in a slow grinding downtrend. I'd be trading something else. In REGN, another one that I would rather look at once it's broken out through the downtrending channel. LinkedIn, same scenario here with the doji sandwich. You can buy it immediately on a positive open. And before I forget, those that have signed up for the option program, the option chat room will be open tomorrow, first thing in the morning. GG is not coming up. So we did glue. Did we do glue? Glue you can be buying on positive trading, and Disney. Disney you want to be buying. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. I don't know what I hit that makes these charts smaller. But that one's a good looking chart. That should be taking you back up to the trend channel. We did OBXG, Yahoo. This one you want to continue to buy. Broke out here into wave 3. And ACN. The Gary, the double line is that no more requests are going to be taken. What did I just do here? Whoops. S.ACN. This one, all you can do is stay long. There's your wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. More than likely, wave 1 and wave 3 equivalent puts it right here at this top resistance area. GE again, an institutional trader. It's been moving up steadily ever since this move here, your 45 degree. So all you can do with this is stay long as it stays above the T line. LinkedIn, if you did that one. IRF. Another one that can be bought on positive trading after the gap up today. Santa, haven't seen that one for a while. Nothing there. Stay out of this until you see a buy signal and a close below or above the T line. Tesla, nothing there either. Stay short until you see a buy signal and a close above the T line. Let's get rid of some of these lines. We did Tesla, CERE. Inverted or long-legged doji. Very simple. It needs to open positive and trade positive to stay in it. SRPT. Nothing there that I get real excited about just yet. ACC. Nothing here either. You hit the bottom of the trend channel, but I wouldn't be buying it until they see a close above the T line. Cooper's Industries. Nothing there either. I'd probably be more apt to go short. Just have to watch to see whether they can get it down through this level right here. MUB. Municipal bonds. Get ready for the next wave to the upside, which would be, the lower interest rates coming about. CTCM. This one, Doji Sandwich Setup. This one you buy on a positive open tomorrow. That's a good looking chart. Okay, see if there's, did Ford, did that, LMT. All you can do here is stay long until you see a sell signal and a close below the T line. And LMT, yeah, just stay long. Do you always buy stop? No. If I'm watching something and it's not doing what I want it to be doing right at the time, like right here, and I got to go do other things, I'll put a buy stop up here. See if it goes through. But I would say probably 90% of my trades are done right here because I'm sitting here right here all day long. CMG staying long as it stays above the T line. IRF kind of sluggish in here. That's not a chart I'd want to trade. So we did Apple, we did Tesla. All right, we should have done most of them. There's only about 4 more stocks that we haven't done out of the 7,800. Melly. Wouldn't do anything here. Not a reversal signal, not anything to tell me there's been any change of investor sentiment. GENT. This one, if it trades flat tomorrow, you close out the position, then you just put your buy stop up here. Because the reason you put a buy stop is so you're not sitting here watching it every day and you don't have your money tied up. This might bobble for another week before something pops it to the upside. So I use buy stops just to keep me from having to sit there and watch the trade. If it goes up through there, I know that the trade is probably going to work. This one you definitely want to see open positive tomorrow, the consolidation. Cannot see your price bar, Frenchie. I think that's from your end. Okay, let's call it a night. It was a buy. All right. And for those of you that did request who is Santa and how to get to the North Pole, most of them have been sent out. The ones requested the last couple of nights are being sent out tomorrow morning. If you haven't received it, it's because when I dropped them off at the post office, one guy took them and dumped them in. I thought they had to check them through, and sure enough, some of them have already come back. So they'll be, I don't know, a joke tonight. The monthly, haven't gotten to a monthly. Right now what we're trying to do, Isa, is the people that are really interested, we don't want to have to worry about constant billing. It's a one-time fee, or it can be split in 2 payments. But we just want to get that out of the way so that we can concentrate on options. And again, it's going to be a limited number of seats. We're getting pretty close to the limited number of seats. I forget how many more she's got open. So, and it's the type of thing that if you don't like what you see in the first 30 days, just say so. We'll send you your money back. There's probably going to be a waiting list to get in. So there'll be somebody to come back in. Oh, polar bear joke will tell when we see blue ice failure. Doji sandwich is, here's kind of a doji sandwich. A green candle, then a doji. Then it opens positive the next day, does another green candle. Usually these candles are about the same magnitude of each other. All right. We'll see everybody in the chat rooms tomorrow. We'll see you then.